your voice.
Yeah, thank you guys all for being here. We are going to be at this for about 45 to 50 minutes. Like Seema said earlier, we've got some amazing testimonials for people to share, and we also have some offers at the end of the Zoom, so please stay tuned. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Ra. I've been in the fitness industry, the health and wellness industry my entire life. I have degrees in psychology and exercise science. I ended up owning several gyms, and for me, it's always been about the human being. I even started a nonprofit called the Human Network. So this Holistic Justice League I'm involved in right now at a very, very high degree. This is what we do in life currently. And so I'm very, very happy and excited to share what we're doing.
Yeah, so my name is Seema, and we're so grateful that all of you guys are here. We are speaking in behalf of all of the Holistic Justice League. There's a lot of leaders out there that invited you to come and hear some education and knowledge, because we believe that's the key, that's the antidote to any fear and any illness in the world. If we can know a little bit more about these things that are causing this harmony in our body, in our life, in our relationships, then we can start to fix it, right? It all comes with awareness first. So I am an architect. I dream my whole life to building big things, and I became a licensed architect where I could build big buildings. And then after about 10 years in the practice, I realized that I wanted to build bodies, and I wanted to build happiness and helping everyone to live and create and architect their reality and their lives in so many different ways possible. So this is when the Holistic Justice League started. Rob, myself, JJ, Holly, Rob, there's a lot of us that one day we were in a living room actually creating a vision boards, and we wanted to put everything that we wanted in our lives in that vision board. And some of the things look so unrealistic, right? Like having healthy bodies seems so distant for so many of us. Feeling wellness seems like something impossible to achieve. And we said, no, we are limitless. And all limits and beliefs is the belief that we're limited. Is that how it goes? There's a saying that
the most limiting belief is the belief that we're limited.
Exactly. You know, we have the power to do anything that we want, and we feel the responsibility to share this message with everyone, because we are the ones that carry this power to activate the voice of the collective with our service. And we are in and sharing is the future, right? It's the future of community.
And you mentioned creating happiness and allowing people to architect their reality. And these are some big concepts, right? And this is our future. And it all starts with light, right? The light is what makes up this entire reality. And we get a lot of the light. I mean, we get light outside, but we get a lot of it in our food. And so we start at the food source and the food supply, start looking at what not only we are feeding our body, but everybody around us, and really taking responsibility for those choices and having solutions to the issues that people face around that.
Yes. Yeah, so we have a big message, and our message is to really renegotiate our relationship with food and see food as real food. We believe that our powers, and this is why the Holistic Justice League came on, because we are all superheroes, and we all have the power to do anything we want in this planet. And we've noticed that a lot of our powers have been taken away from us, and through our programming, what we call our matrix, or by simply artificial ingredients, plastic, food fillers, glyphosate, herbicides, Teflon, chemicals, toxins in our food, that our bodies don't even recognize food as food anymore. So it's kind of sad, right? We can taste it, we can eat it, but then our body is under so much stress, and this is what's causing all of these problems and battles that we're fighting. And the stress is not only from going to work and being employees and doing all these things, but also with all the stress that digesting plastic causes in our liver, in our digestion. I mean, imagine how much stress we have by digesting Teflon.
There's a lot of Teflon inside me.
I know, he used to cook his eggs on Teflon pans. His eggs were like black.
Ago, guys, a long time ago.
Yes.
You couldn't tell the difference between the Teflon and the pepper.
No. You know, this is the truth. We don't know. And how can we know what we don't know? It's infinite. You know, we know what we know. You know, we know what we don't know, but we don't know what we don't know. And that is the infinite, you know, universe. And we're here to discover those blind spots of things that are keeping us stuck where we are now, because we just simply don't know what we don't know. We don't know that we could be good at something else. And we could feel wellness in a different way. So before we get started, just because we're going to share with you guys superfoods, organic superfoods that are considered raw and living, and so they're considered foods. We're going to read a disclaimer just because we're not doctors and we can make claims. So the statements that you're going to hear in the next couple minutes have not been evaluated by the FDA. And these superfoods are not intended to diagnose, cure, or treat any disease. With that said, we do have lots of testimonials that prove otherwise, but we can make claims again. So it's all about experiencing it for ourselves and being our own testimonial.
Yeah, so we all have to be mindful of the partnerships we make. And we make these partnerships when we purchase products, and we make these partnerships even when we're determining where to work or how to serve in society. And so we've partnered with a company called Purium. And Purium serves by providing leading edge superfoods. And by leading edge, I mean there's a lot of things that we do that we start off the health industry on this path. For instance, biodegradable packaging. We're the first company of this size to introduce biodegradable packaging into all of our products, and we'll be plastic-free packaging by the end of this year. And another thing is that with nutrition, there's a whole bunch of things, right? There's basically different diets. People are on one side of the fence, just as many people are on the other side of the fence. It's very, very confusing. And we have a package that gets just down to the core of what it takes to be healthy. If you guys are familiar with Ann Wigmore, she was the creator of the Hippocrates Institute. She was healing people with wheatgrass back in the 70s, you know, like basically reversing cancer back in the 70s with wheatgrass. She's the mother of wheatgrass. And David Sandoval, the formulator of all these products we're about to share you, he was with her doing that. And he was with all these other people at the same time, you know, the Amazon herb people, the Swiss herbologists, the Ayurveda people, the Chinese, he was studying everything. But one thing he told us was that Ann Wigmore said, hey, do you want to know the key to health? It's very, very simple. You need to have a diet that detoxifies, nourishes, and repairs, okay? As long as your food is functional and those matter, to nourish the body, to detoxify the body, get rid of the junk, and to repair the cells, then you will be promoting a state of health within the human body. So we've got a whole bunch of products that we carry, but this one is our staple product. It's called the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation. It's made up of 5 different products. So we are going to
we're going to share
get it going now.
Yeah, Ron mentioned that plastic, being single-use plastic free, it's such a huge challenge for a company of this size. But we're doing it, and we're committed to leaving the planet better than we found it for generations to come. And for that, being plastic free is so essential, because environmental stewardship is actually one of our core values personally, and with Purium, which Purium stands for pure and premium. So during the last 6 months, we've been able to save over 30,000 pounds of plastic by really going compostable and biodegradable. So if you notice, this is our new Terra pouch. We pull the sticker, you put it on the soil, and it's biodegradable. So we have no carbon footprint. That's really important. So Ross spoke about nourishing. So this is our power shake, and it's the first of the 5 superfoods we're going to share. So the Power Shake has 6 servings of green superfood salads. It's a lot of minerals and vitamins in just one serving. I used to be the girl that would be in the farmer's market 8 in the morning every Sunday with my big bag to get all the celery and buy all the fresh vegetables, so I could come home and juice everything. And I loved it. It was a nice experience, but it was so time consuming. And a lot of my vegetables went to waste, and especially all that fiber after I was making all those juices, remember? So with this Power Shake, what we like the most, and actually this is why I really got into drinking it every day for the last 2 years, it's because it's considered raw and living, and the juice goes through the same exact oxidation process as a juice that you would make fresh in your juicer, except that this has over 10 times more nutrition because it's pure chlorophyll. So we call it liquid sunshine.
Yeah, so juicing is nothing new, right? But if we can get it to people in a more convenient way, it'll make it easier to ingest. And so then the question is, well, is powder better than juice? And when you actually look back at where this stuff is sourced, you see that, yeah, it is. If your raw material that you're starting with is better than the stuff that you're buying to juice. And for most of the world, we're not buying top quality stuff. Even organic stuff isn't great. Okay, so for instance, the wheatgrass that's in that bag right there was grown at 6,000 feet elevation on a dried up lake bed next to a volcano. So there's about 90 feet of sediment of volcanic ash that wheatgrass is grown in. And then when it comes to powdering that juice, it's done at room temperature at 78 degrees, which is crazy. This is what got me fixated on this company, is how can that be? Well, we developed that process. We funded the company that actually invented the process. And the how we do that is we have these giant silos that are about 150 to 200 feet tall. And we take that wheatgrass and we juice it in these giant masticators. And we pump that juice to the top of these silos. And lining the silos are these fans. And these fans are blowing up 78-degree temperature air. So the top of the silo, the juice gets misted very finely. And as it falls down, the water gets evaporated out of the juice, and what hits the ground is the powder that goes in that package. And there's wheatgrass juice in there. There's alfalfa leaf, and there's spirulina. There's more than just the wheatgrass in there, and our other things. But this is just one example of the quality standards of this company. We test the air. You know, this farm that I'm talking about, there's not other farms within hundreds of miles. The water comes from the ground. So this is just an example of how convenience and quality of the greens can trump eating just salads. Yeah. I actually haven't had a salad in like 2 years because this is just what I choose to eat.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? But just like when we have a seed, and we can have a seed in a jar for years and years, and one day we decide to give the seed some life. We put it on the soil, we put a little water, we need a little sun, and then we have a full-on grown plant. So this is the same thing that happens with our Power Shake. Once we put the water, it activates, and I always say drink it within 10-15 minutes. Otherwise, the active enzymes start to die, just like any other juice. I remember when I would have celery juice, and then I'll wait 15 minutes and it will be dark green, from like this fluorescent vivid green to dark green. And I was like, oh, that doesn't look pretty anymore. Well, that's because the enzymes died. And when the enzymes died, then it loses its potency to really repair our cells. So this is the same thing. That's why I love it. And it tastes great. It's delicious. So in order to be healthy and stay young, I always say we need antioxidants. Antioxidants are super important. Actually, I was reading a book by Anthony Williams, Medical Medium. I used to be her #1 follower. And he always talk about, he actually shipped me the Rescue the Liver book.
I know.
I won a contest. But he would always say, if you're not eating antioxidants, then you are in an oxidizing diet. And what happens to things in nature when they oxidize?
They rust and die.
Right? Batteries rust when they're oxidized. Everything that oxidizes really rust and then doesn't longer function. Well, our body also oxidizes if we are in an oxidative diet. And what does an oxidative diet looks like? Looks like not eating enough fruits, not eating enough fruits that carry the ORAC value, that carry all these antioxidants, means that we're actually oxidizing, and we oxidize in the form of aging, thinning our hair, wrinkles, and there's beauty products that we can put on top of our face, in our body, but eventually it comes from the inside.
Mhm.
You know, everything, the root, it's within us for everything. So for that, we take what's called a apothecary cherry, and the apothecary cherry, it's pure cherry concentrate. It just has one ingredient. You want to talk about the cherries?
Tart cherries, yeah. So tart cherry is, number one, she's talking about antioxidants. I've been taking tart cherry juice or powder for my entire athletic career. It is very good in terms of just the oxidative stress of exercise and just everyday life. But tart cherries also induce the body to produce melatonin greater than any other food source, which that is way more important. What that means is that it allows your cells to repair at a greater degree when you're sleeping. Okay, so we can go to sleep and knock out, and there be not so much melatonin because you're looking at your phone or whatever. There's a whole bunch of reasons why there wouldn't be melatonin production, and the cells of your body wouldn't necessarily get repaired when you're sleeping, which then makes sleep less efficient. So as long as there's a lot of melatonin production, no matter how long you're sleeping, you are going to be getting more repair system-wide in the body. So tart cherries do that, and that is why this product, it also allows people to sleep when they had trouble sleeping before.
Yeah, it's super important. My sister has 2 daughters, and she'll never be able to sleep. She's like, I'm suffering of insomnia, and just 1 tablespoon before we go to sleep, and our body will produce our own melatonin so we can rest and get into that REM sleep, which most of us don't even get an hour REM sleep. We actually wake up more tired than before we went to bed, right? It's just because we don't get that melatonin production.
I'm sure a lot of people can relate with that. It doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense, but it exists.
That's true. So we talked about minerals, our green vegetables, then we talk about our fruits, and our body also needs protein. Well, I wouldn't say really protein. What our body needs is amino acids and peptides. But we won't go into all that detail. But we were actually watching a documentary which the peptides is actually what's breaking down from the amino acids, which the amino acids is what's broken down from the protein. But to make it simple, this is protein.
The body needs amino acids, essentially.
Yes, it's 100% vegan and it's pre-digested. It's called super aminos because they're amino chain acids. They build muscle whether you work out or not. It's protein that has been already been broken down. So that means that it skips the whole digestion process. So I used to do CrossFit and workouts, and I was a tennis player, and we would take these protein powders that would cause so much inflammation. You actually didn't want to leave a dirty shaker bottle in the car.
So
because protein really starts to break down. So
yeah, she said something pretty profound, which is this will put muscle on you whether you work out or not, and that is true. I've seen people make more change in 6 to 7 months on these products than I have in the same people 6 to 7 years working out in the gym. The way that the body builds tissue is with amino acids and also peptides, which she mentioned. Those tell all of our cells what to do. Peptides are made up of amino acids. They're just not quite to the level of a protein. So proteins and peptides go through the body and organize and build our body. So the reason why we want to take these pure amino acids is because if we're eating proteins, which I still suggest we all do, but if we can reduce the amount that we're eating in terms of protein, it reduces the waste that the body has to disassemble the protein and reassemble those amino acids into usable proteins and peptides. And the less stress on the organs from breaking down the protein, the less waste created, the healthier we can be. So these pills, how we personally use them is that they replace a lot of the food. And we, you know, if we're going to the gym, we're taking 10 of those before we go to the gym. It helps actually the breakdown of a lot of the muscle tissue, and even 10 after the gym as an option.
Yes, they're really, really powerful. So that's the protein. So we also want to talk about prebiotic, and then we have one more superfood. But who knows what glyphosate is? If you know, drop a 1 in the chat, because I didn't know what glyphosate was. And only when I came to Purium, I learned, again, because we're all about education and knowledge, what glyphosate was. And when I found out, I just feel so bad. Because I was eating glyphosate for many years. And I didn't know. So glyphosate is the poison herbicide. It's what's being sprayed into our food, into our fruits and vegetables. Everything that's not organic has glyphosate. And glyphosate destroys our microbiome. Our microbiome is all the living organisms in our gut that really break down our food and absorb vitamins and minerals. So we want to share with you the Biomedic, which we say this is the only product in the market. It's actually, we have all the certifications, the medical clinical studies to be proven to remove up to 74% of the glyphosate out of our gut. There are no other product that can do such an incredible job. And once we remove the glyphosate out of our gut, guess what? Well, now we can not only sleep better, our brain fog goes away, we can focus, we can complete tasks and things that we want. We can finish a book, that we've never been able to focus on for long term. We can drop weight, or hormones get aligned and balanced. And we've come across thousands of customers by now that have been able to have incredible transform. I counted them. I went through all of our customers because I wanted to know how many customers we've been able to help in the last 2 years. And definitely everyone could say that they had an incredible experience by removing all this poison from our gut.
Yeah, so this is called the ultimate lifestyle transformation for a reason. It really transforms people's lives. And Biomedic is one of the major reasons why it does it. It is the only product that is ventured to prove that it can remove glyphosate. And glyphosate's made by Monsanto. Monsanto also made Agent Orange, which was used in wartime during Vietnam to basically destroy the jungle so that the Vietnamese soldiers wouldn't have plants to hide behind. So the same company that manufactured that makes the same thing that we spray on all of our food. And Monsanto also makes the seeds that are genetically modified to resist Roundup. Okay, so it makes the plants that can resist the Roundup, and then we eat that, or our livestock eats that. And the way that it get passed through the government was that they proved that that glyphosate destroys this certain pathway that microorganisms and plants have, and humans do not have this pathway. And the issue is that there's a whole bunch of bacteria and microorganisms inside of our stomach that does have that pathway. And so when we're eating these glyphosate-laden foods, it's on the outside, it's inside the cells, it's going in and destroying our gut. And when we can't digest food, we can't get nutrified, we can't get detoxed, we can't, repair properly, and the body starts getting sick in many, many, many different ways. So if we get rid of the reason for that, then the body can start going back and recalibrating itself back to health. Another thing Biomedic is proven to do is reduce C-reactive protein by 75%. C-reactive protein is the biomarker for inflammation. The more C-reactive protein, the more inflammation. The less inflammation. So scientists look at that as an indicator of the inflammation in the human beings. Biomedic reduces that by 75% in 6 weeks when people are still eating the standard American diet. Why? Because now they can digest the food, detoxify, and repair, and nourish. And so all of their inflammation starts going down because their joints and everything is being, it's not sick anymore. I want to say this without using certain words.
Yeah. Well, I just want to also mention before we go to an incredible testimonial is that we do have a nonprofit organization. It's called the Awakening Project. And again, we can't make claims because we're not doctors, but we have been able to help lots of autistic children because this nonprofit is for autism. And we have kids that have been able to regain some cognitive function by cleaning their bodies from glyphosate. So there's a lot of, I guess, people that say that, you know, autism is directly related to glyphosate, and the mom having all this herbicide in her womb before giving birth. So from our body, it's crazy.
Yeah,
So,
glyphosate's not only in food, right? It's also in vaccines.
yes.
It's also sprayed on our driveways, our lawns, our golf courses, and our parks.
In our dogs.
So it's everywhere.
Yeah, have 50 times more glyphosate. So we want to introduce. Oh, yes. Sorry. We have one more superfood. It's actually pretty brief, but this is our super cleanser, and they're herbs that kill parasites of our body. We all have parasites, whether we want it or not. And I say parasites is the main cause of inflammation in the body. Sometimes we wake up and we look ourselves in the mirror and we look good, and then we eat the smallest thing possible and we get bloated. And that happens because there are parasites and we have inflammation in our face and our legs. So we take them for 10 days.
Yeah. Before you introduce Karen Ray, I just want to recap. So we got 5 products. One nourishes, the Power Shake, right? We got the amino acids, which also nourishes. And we have the apothecary, which helps us sleep and also nourishes and has antioxidants. We have the biomedic, which helps majorly detoxify the body and rebuild the gut. And we have the parasite herbs. And the combination of these 5 in a 30-day program is what makes up the ultimate lifestyle transformation.
Yes. Awesome. So I want to bring in Karen. Here she is. She's a new mom, and she has an incredible testimonial to share because everyone can do this. This is about eating real food, organic foods. It's not about a diet. This is not a diet. This is eat real food. And pregnant woman can do it. New moms can do it. Kids can do it. Dogs can do it. Any being that can eat real food can do this. So Karen, are you unmuted? Let me see. Can you? No. Why can't I find you? Let me see if I'm mute. Okay, there you go.
Hi.
Hi.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for asking me to share. I'm really happy to be here. So, yeah, like Seema said, I'm a mom. I'm 46 and I have 2 young kids. And a little bit about me. Throughout most of my life, I struggled with anxiety and depression and something called trichotillomania. Now that sounds kind of weird, but it's just this disorder where you pull out your own hair. And for most of my life, it really wasn't a big deal at all. I guess you could say I was high functioning because I had a really good life. I always had lots of energy, and I got by. You know, I coped, I managed. Well, fast forward to a few years ago, I got married, I had kids, and once I became a mom, I found I was so tired. The fatigue was unbelievable. And I guess you could say I had a really bad case of postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, and the trichotillomania came back with a vengeance. And I had tons of hair loss. I had to wear wigs. It was awful. But it was also the day-to-day that I found really difficult. I was so tired. I couldn't keep up with my kids. Even little things like loading and unloading the dishwasher, it felt like a marathon. And so I went to the doctor and I was put on a low dose of antidepressants. And I tried all the things, you know, I went to therapy, I went to a holistic nutritionist, I tried the Whole30, I tried everything out there, and it always felt like there was something missing, like I was missing this link. And anyway, luckily I found Purium and I started with the Core 4, and immediately I felt nourished. Like I felt like my energy coming back. And it was so great. I decided to dive a little deeper and I did the challenge, the ULT. I did a modified version because I was breastfeeding. So I staggered my aminos and I had a little more lifestyle meals. And my energy came back, my vitality came back. I was happy. Around this time, we got a trampoline, and I was jumping up and down on the trampoline with my kids, and I could keep up with them. And I was holding my 2-year-old in my arms, and I was smiling and laughing. And I was like, wow, like the mind gut connection is real. Like this is happening, you know? And even a few days later, I was euphoric. I was up at the cottage and I just was like vibing with the forest. And anyway, it was a great transformation. And now I'm taking the core 4. And I really, truly, truly think this was the missing piece for me, the nutrition. And I'm so glad I found the products and I would highly recommend them.
Wow.
Before and after.
Let me show you before and after, because I mean, this doesn't even justify your story. You know, the side effects of dropping weight and looking great is a bonus, right? You guys heard your story. Let me share your other picture, because the real thing here is how you feel, and how you feel in your body, and how you feel with your kids, with your family, with everything to do in life, having vitality and life back, right? You got your powers back. And this is what we share with the world. You know, we super appreciate your honesty and your vulnerability to open up to us and share from your heart what truly happens to you, because it happens to many of us. There's a lot of us that don't know that there is hope, and that you can jump in a trampoline. After I want to jump in a trampoline, you know, after being in this rabbit hole when we don't find escape or light, and then all of a sudden it's let's nourish ourselves and let's share that with the planet. And this is what we do, this work. You know, I was like trying not to cry. It was really inspiring.
Yeah, I love that. I love that story. It had 0% to do with how you look, right?
Yeah,
but
no.
You guys can see her pictures, right? So we always say that the aesthetics, whether it's losing fat or gaining muscle, that's all just a side effect from how you will actually feel. And we can only know what that's like by hearing stories like yours. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yes, thank you, Karen. What an honor. It's I always say that, just like at the beginning, it's our responsibility to share our voice, so those that don't know that have a voice can speak out. And as one of us rises, we all rise together, right? So we got to become the change that we want to see in the world, like heaven on earth. Gaudi says that, JJ says that all the time. We got to become that, so then we can share with everyone else. So that was beautiful.
Yeah, so like I said, we'll be sharing more about that at the end of this Zoom. And there, she mentioned the Core 4 also. There's many other products. We got a fitness pack also that has pre-workout, post-workout, during the workout, whether it's working out or yoga or breath or whatever it is. So there's amazing, amazing products that this company has. We're just sharing our staple go-to product to start people off with. But yeah, there's plenty more where that comes from.
Yes, it's super important that we detoxify our body so we can start building on top of a body that's clean and that's pure of all these poison. So we're going to spend the next 15 minutes talking about our opportunity, but whoever sent you and invited you to the Zoom has a gift card that can be given to you with $105 discount. It's a big gift card that we're giving away if you want to try the superfoods. So reach out to the person that invited you and you can have that gift card. So you can start the program at any time, any day. We do have challenges that happen all month long. And with this challenge, you can do it with a group of people. Accountability is super important, especially when we're trying to do something new. So talk to the person that invited you and they'll let you know more information about our next challenge. With that being said, let's talk about our opportunity. Yeah. So as I mentioned, I'm an architect, and my whole life was about living the American dream. I'm an immigrant, came from South America, and I just wanted to graduate from college and get a job, right? Get a job so I could get a paycheck. Little I know that I was becoming a person that was plugged into this matrix of working for somebody else, and creating this limited belief that I'm not worth having my own business and the abundance and the freedom that I wanted to create. So one day I was sitting in my desk and I was putting a proposal together to send out. And I was like, oh, I'm going to give away like 300 hours of my life for this much money. And it just felt so wrong to trade my time for money. It just didn't feel good. You know, that gut feeling when you have your gut back and then you talk to you, connects with your brain, and you're like, that doesn't feel good. And this is when I had an awakening, and I said, oh, I want to get paid to do stuff that I love to do. And I want to work, but I don't want it to feel like working. And I heard that before, but I didn't know that it could truly happen.
Yeah.
So Purium, once I found out about Purium and about their mission and how pure and organic their superfoods are, I also found out that it was a network marketing company. I had no idea. And then I said, I can make money by sharing these superfoods with people. And it didn't seem real, right? I was like, I just have to share with people and create stories like Karen and help everyone just end their suffering. And get paid. And I was in complete disbelief. So I was like, I'm going to try this. So I joined Purium, and a little bit over a year, I became a crown of the company. It's a very high level of leadership. And I was able to quit my architectural practice, not because I don't love it and I'm not good at it, but just because with Purium, I get to be of impact. I get to help humanity rise, and I get to shift people's consciousness about how they feel with themselves and how they feel with our planet. And it's been pretty incredible.
Yeah, and being of impact, helping humanity, shifting consciousness, these are all very high level attributes that we should all feel good about in our business. But from a low level perspective, this opportunity, what we're doing, this business, it's the distribution model of these foods. I've owned businesses my entire life. I've never had a full-time job. So the way that I assess things has to do with the numbers, and doesn't make business sense in terms of my energy expenditure and what it's worth, right? And I can tell you guys all that my assessment of this company is that all the check boxes are marked, right? We've got a partner company, which is Purium, that has doubled this year. So it's in a boom. Organic foods are highly needed right now by our society. Everyone's concerned with health, right? Not only that, during this whole pandemic, we were all booming. We're working, right? We didn't get put out of business. We are an essential business, right? And it's an essential business that's done right. We are supplying food that is helping people. And our Holistic Justice League, we are also in the middle of a boom. We've 10x this year. And that has to do with our awesome team. We've got amazing team of leaders, and we've got a system that works. And within network marketing, that's everything. Your upline and your system, that's everything. And network marketing is an entire industry that we all get to learn. And it offers a lot of benefits that regular business doesn't have. I'm from the regular business world. There was always high overhead. There was employees that you take advantage of. There's being dependent on a brick and mortar location and having to be there. None of that exists within network marketing. There's very, very little overhead. There's no employees, right? You take on partners, and your success is predicated on your ability to bring success to your team, to the people around you, which is a complete game changer in terms of business. And it's an ascended business model because of that. We get paid by the ability of impact we make on others, not just our customers and making them healthy. People like Karen Ray, her story, like, that's amazing. That's what our products do. But also in terms of business and personal development, we are all responsible for passing it forward and teaching people what we learn about business and making sure that everyone in our network knows how to be responsible financially within this lifetime. And this is why I now love network marketing. Like, I think that I can't even imagine anything better than this.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Me too. We're both doing this full time, and we're helping people around the world to have a story that can help elevate the consciousness. And who doesn't want more abundance financially? Because eating healthy is expensive. Eating organic is expensive. And the truth is that a lot of us are living paycheck to paycheck, and we don't have enough resources to buy a full organic diet. And what happens when we don't buy organic? We start to eat all this poison that really takes our vitality away. So some of us want to make an extra stream of income. Others want to do this full time. I started with my architecture practice, and then I noticed that I felt more purpose by helping create stories, and that feeling of being of purpose was way worth more than anything that I programmed my mind to for my whole life. So we do have a testimonial that we want to share. Curtis, he is an executive, soon to be diamond, and has an organization. He's had a lot of success. And he's been able to build his business while traveling. He's been on the East Coast, was on the West Coast. It's all over. So we want to introduce Curtis. Are you here? Let's see if I can. Where are you?
How's my service? How am I coming through?
Oh, there you are. You are.
Okay, am I coming through okay?
That's why.
You watching?
Yeah.
He's mooning.
I'm in the middle of the desert. I'm at an On It event with Aubrey Marcus and Kyle Kingsbury, and I'm using my hood as a satellite dish right now to catch service. Like, literally, if I take my hand off and then I put it back on, I have service.
Oh, wow.
Well,
okay, so
for figuring that out for us, man.
I know. Well, thank you for being here with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's an honor. Thank you. So what was I doing before Purium? I was living in Los Angeles, and I had worked since I was 14 with my dad's framing company, construction, carpentry, and that was hard labor. So I did that since I was 14, full time in the summer. When I was 16, after I flipped my Jeep into a field, I was required, like, you're no longer a kid. You have to work all summer. So then I'm in Los Angeles, and I'm working the gig economy and Uber and Lyft and Jaguar Land Rover and American Express, and like that's going nowhere. And so I did this Joe Dispenza meditation course, and like I was thinking you could do the exercise like manifesting something, and I wanted to manifest a new job. I'm like, what the heck? I got nothing going on. Like, I'm going back home to New Hampshire to take over my dad's business if this doesn't go well. So I was feeling the weight of that. I'm like, I got to step up and start being a man here and get some serious cash flow. So I don't know. Then I met Seema and Troy Casey on the same day over in Santa Monica, and that was right after the Joe Dispenza meditations. Certified health nut. That's crazy. How do you think of this stuff, Angelo? Yeah, and I found the opportunity with Purium. I saw how Seema and Troy were juggling that in their lives, and I've taken it on for the last year, and it's really paying off. Like I can actually juggle this. I'm in the middle of the desert right now, and I'm able to do some work, right? I was on the East Coast on an island and back in the West Coast, and now I'm here in Sedona. So what's the next part of the speech? I put it in the notes, but now everyone like commented stuff, so I can't find it.
It's all good. I think you covered everything that we want to hear. You know, some of us just want that freedom to be able to make an income as we are in the middle of the desert with a spot lamp.
Yeah, I didn't want to put my headlight on. That just sounded awful for my eyes. Yeah, I have a great organization. Like it takes time, and it takes a lot of figuring out your own mindset and sharing that mindset with others. And now I have Wayne and Jordan's on the call, and Christine and Rogan. Christine and Rogan were at Music and Sky this weekend with Angelo, and the community here it feels like family. There's a lot of love here.
Wow. Yeah. What does the future look like for you with this in your life? Do you have that vision?
Way better than going back to New Hampshire and banging nails for the rest of my life. My dad literally has no ass. He's worked his ass completely off. And yeah, this is like, I'm fully integrated. I'm living passionately. I'm inspired, like just so dreamy. My life is dreamy now. And that's what I see going forward in the future.
I don't know if you could hope for anything more than that, right? Living his dreams, everyone. He's living his dreams. All right. Well, thank you so much, Curtis.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for showing up. You said that you were going to show up, and you did it, even when the circumstances were trying to sabotage our agreement and our commitment to what we said that we were going to do. So integrity and living up integrity, it's literally what brings all of us to our success. So thank you, Curtis.
Thank you, Ron, Seema.
You're so welcome.
Take care, man.
So we are wrapping it up. I think that's what we wanted to share. There is a lot to gain when we put our faith in God's hands and we just focus on what our heart desires. And I had this awakening when somebody told me, will you take the job if money wasn't an issue? And I was like, no, I wouldn't take the job if money wasn't an issue. And then that fear of not taking the job because I was so addicted to my paycheck. And the fear was so real that was just blocking the wavelengths of my heart to really express and manifest what it was meant to. And just like Curtis, there is hundreds of us that took this faith and made a commitment to go through our own fire, our own walls, to have a breakthrough that allow us to go through our dreams. So we are all worth to have the abundance financially. We're in a world where there is equality for all. There's this huge movement, right? Where everybody deserves the same rights to experience all things in life. And we have an opportunity to do that.
A grand opportunity to step into that. And that comes with a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
You notice Curtis said he's a year in and he's starting to feel it. And business takes time. There's a runway that you need to build before the jets start taking off. And no matter what business it is, that's true. And we're here for that support. And we're here for the knowledge and the wisdom that's necessary for that. And you will eventually be that person for so many other people in your organization if you step into this with us. And that's essentially what we're here to offer you, is to be of service to countless. We're talking thousands of people if you're involved with this for years, and you don't have to be at this level, but this is my favorite part about this, is that we're collaborating as a species, which is like, that's the whole shift, right? The shift that you've been hearing. It's all about collaboration and cohesiveness.
Yes, we're in business by ourselves, but never by ourselves. For ourselves, but never by ourselves. We are always with someone that's going to hold our hands and keep us accountable when we don't want to show up, because our vision, it's extremely important for us.
So Seema's going to share some links, and I'm going to talk about some specials. So number one, that ultimate lifestyle transformation that we were talking about earlier, we do have a group transformation starting on October 26th. And so if you or anyone that you know is interested and would want to do this in a group, we've got Zoom calls. We have 3 Zoom calls for support. We got a Facebook group, and we also have prizes. And it's not just based on pictures. It's based on your story. It's based on a whole bunch of things. And we've got first place prize is $2,500 worth of superfoods. And we've got second, third, and fourth place prizes also, which is a core 4, which is exactly what you would need on month number 2.
Maintenance for a year.
for that first place prize. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the free ULT to give to somebody else. That's first place.
Yeah.
And that's every, we're going to have another one next month that's going to have the same prizes. And then our business opportunity, we're doing a special this year, for the rest of this year actually, where we can sign up for the ULT and also be granted the business opportunity for free. There's usually a cost right now because of COVID. We reduce the barrier to entry, and you try a ULT, you can get into the business for free. And like Seema said earlier, talk to whoever invited you to this Zoom about all of this stuff.
Yes, and I just wanted to make the statement, only if you're serious to join the business, let us know, or whoever invited you here, because we invest a lot of time and we take you as a responsibility for ourselves to guide you through your success. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and a lot of hours, on the phone, on Zoom, working, collaborating together, brainstorming, getting you to find your magic, find your medicine, find what works for you in your communities. And for that, we need serious people. So only if you're interested in really making this transformation, because we can change our body as we change our finances. And that's what we did. And we did it in harmony with one another, and it worked. So with that said, we just want to thank everyone for coming and staying with us for this last hour. We appreciate you. We hear you. We honor you, and have an incredible, blessed night. We're going to unmute everyone. So if you have questions, feel free to hang on. If not, we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks,
guys.
Thanks everyone for being here.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Peace out.
Thank you. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Seema.
You're welcome.
Bye, guys.
Wow, Mama J, your hair.
Mama
Look at your hair, Mama J.
I know, right?
Wow. Whoa.
Mama J, let's see the hair again.
Angelo, arrivederci, quante c'è amore.
Hey, wait, since when you speak Italian?
That's me.
I know speak that.
It's not Wayne, it's Michael.
By the way,
No
guys,
assumptions,
in
by the way.
Canada, he always joins from bed. He always
What?
joins from bed.
Where's
Who?
Mama J?
It's
Mama J.
Want
I'm
to
not
see
in
her
bed. What are you
hair?
talking about? I'm standing up. What are you talking about? I'm straight up and down.
not down to the wall.
Bye.
Aren't you guys lying
Thank you,
down?
Tyler and Olivia, for coming on. I'm so happy to see you
That's
guys
how it
here.
works, right? If you lie about you standing up, it automatically makes us.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you. Te amo. Adios.
What, lying is the operative word. Oh my God.
Thank you, Angelo, for bringing your light. We're so happy. You're always so committed. It's so inspiring. You make me want to commit more.
Who?
You.
Me?
Because I was like, Angelo's showing up. I got to show up.
Angelo shows up every day. He has the most amazing posts. It makes me smile every day.
I know, me too.
Okay, I'm gonna
That's
get
right.
off my
Arrivederci,
headphones.
quante c'è amore.
I love you guys. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Peace
You
out,
too.
Good night,
Angelo.
Angelo. Good night, everybody. Love
Good
y'all.
night.
Love you too. Bye.
Say bye.
I'm actually